Welcome back to my channel. Today's video we are going to be making a gathers dress, a gathers maxi dress with exaggerated puff sleeve. We'll be using these 6 yards of African print, and I'll be using this lining for the upper parts of the dress. So I have my tape here, my scissors, my ruler, my chalk, and of course my pins. So I'm going to start with the sleeve and cut out 1 yard of fabric. This is a yard. The length is 46 inches and the width is 36 inches. So we are going to be cutting both sleeves together. Get 1 yard and then fold it into 2. Fold it into 2 equal parts. So after cutting, one will be for one sleeve, one will be for the other sleeve. So we're going to fold this into 2 again. So this is 18 inches. And then this is 23 inches. For a regular sleeve, we need 10 inches. 10 inches wide. By the time we fold it, it becomes 20 inches. So this is like twice the regular fabric would have used for a basic sleeve. So because it is exaggerated, that is why we have this extra inches. We have about 12.5 inches more. And then for the sleeve length, the sleeve length is 10 inches, so we have extra to bring out the puffiness and also to create casing for the elastic band around the arm of the dress. So I'll just go ahead and mark out the cap height, which is 4 inches. So from this side, I'll just mark the regular one that we would have used for a sleeve, which is 10 inches. So I'm just using my free hand to create the sleeve of so this will come all the way to the side. So all this will be gathered to the midpoint here. So I can go ahead and notch this place. Okay. Move so the gathers can end 2 inches away from there. That way the pleating will end here, or we can make it that the pleating will end around 4 inches. 4 will start sewing, so decide that as you sew. So we can go ahead and notch this piece. So for this down part, we're going to be using elastic band. Okay, by the time we're placing our elastic, then it will shrink it to the desired circumference that we need. So right, 2 inches. So both sleeves are ready. So go ahead and cut the upper body section. So these are the measurements you are working with. A shoulder 16 inches, a bust 38 inches, a waist of 30 inches. We don't need the hip, though the hip is 37 inches. You're going to be dividing the shoulder by 2 and then add ½ inch to that. So first of all, we are going to cut out what we need. The bust circumference divided by 4 plus some inches. So you can make your blog 13 inches or 14 inches, depending on your bust circumference. So you just add 3 inches to cut off your bust circumference. So I'm dividing the bust circumference by 4. If you don't have a calculator, just use your tip. So after that, you measure what you have out, making sure that you have added the allowance. So I'm just trying to mark out the width of the fabric. And then the length. The half length is 17 inches, but we'll be making it 18 because we'll have a joining at the shoulder and then at the waist. So this is just me marking it out. Then I'm going to cut. So here is our pattern. We have cut out the front and the back. For the back, we added extra 1.5 inches to the length to accommodate the zipper. So you can pin both of them together so that we can cut the shoulders and the armhole. So the shoulder we are working with is 16 inches. Divided by 2, that is 8. So you go ahead and mark the shoulder. And then 1 inch down for the shoulder slant. You mark 1 inch for the shoulder slant. And then the neck width, you mark the neck width. So I'm trying to mark the front neckline. The front neckline is different from the back. So mark the front neckline. It's going to be a V neckline. And then we also mark the back neckline. The back is a high back. So be using 1.5 inches for that. So mark the back neckline. But when you are cutting, you're going to cut both of them separately. That is just to know where the neckline is. Then determine the front neckline. That is the depth of the front neckline and the width. So you can use your ruler to make a V. If you don't want a straight V, you can use your French curve to curve the V a little. So after that, use your straight ruler to mark the shoulder slant, to rule the shoulder slant that you've already marked. And then you mark the armhole depth. The armhole depth for this is 7.5 inches. 7.5 inches. Then you mark the shoulder divided by 2 again and mark it on that same line so that you can have a straight line. I'm trying to achieve a straight line. And that is going to give us the chest line. So that is the chest line. And then the armhole depth. On the chest, so we are going to determine the armhole curve. To do that, we need our bust circumference divided by 4 so that we can determine the armhole length. So we'll mark that on the chest line. And then you get the midpoint of the armhole depth. You mark that. You go in by 1/2 inch for the front armhole. So with your French curve, you mark the back armhole length first. And then you also mark the front armhole. I'm just trying to make sure that the French curve is well positioned. So you mark the front armhole. So that's the back and then this is the front. So that is the chest line. So we're going to get our bust point, the shoulder to the bust. Shoulder to the bust point is 10.5. So because of half-inch allowance, that will be on 11. So you mark on 11. So you get your ruler and roll a straight line there. So that is our bust line. So this is our bust line, and then the down is the waistline. I'm just trying to check the length of that. So you are going to be marking the dart. The bust span measurement, also known as nipple to nipple, is 7.5. So you divide that by 2. You're going to have 3.75. So you mark that. Mark it on the bust line as well. And then with your ruler, connect with a straight line. I'm just trying to mark the chest line and the bust line on the back. The back dart is a bit longer than the front dart. I'm just trying to repeat to mark the bust line. So I'm going to be taking 1/2 inch on both sides of the dart. 1/2 inch on both sides. And then for the front pattern, we come down from the bust point by 1/2 inch. Then with our roller, we'll connect in the form of a triangle. We are going to be having a princess dart. So just notch where you have the dart. Notch it with your scissors. So you are going to have a princess dart. So from the middle of the armhole, so above the bust line, go up by 1 inch or 1/2 inch. So we can have some freeness around the bust area, and then connect with your French curve to the middle of the armhole depth. And then we mark 1/2 inch on both sides. We are going to take a dart of 1/2 inch on both sides. So we'll use our roller to reconnect that again. Towards the bust point. So that is a 1 inch dart. We are going to extend the armhole length by 1 inch. So the bust circumference divided by 4. Mark bust circumference divided by 4. And then add the 1 inch extra. So on the bust line, repeat your bust circumference divided by 4. And then add 2 inches seam allowance. On the waistline, mark your waist circumference divided by 4. The waist circumference divided by 4. Then the dart, 1 inch dart that you have removed, you replace it back. And then the 2 inch seam allowance. So you connect that to the bust line with a straight line. Connect the chest to the bust and then to the wrist. So we are going to cut out the neckline and the shoulder and the back armhole. So on the shoulder, add ½ inch seam allowance. ½ inch seam allowance. So cut out the neckline, the shoulder, and then the armhole on the side. So cut out the back neckline, the shoulder, and the side. So here is our pattern. We are finished cutting. Sorry, the video stopped somewhere. So here is the front pattern. We are going to be cutting lining for the front and then for the back. So for the back, to avoid zip bulge, we are going to mark 2 inches and in a slanted manner cut it off to avoid zip bulge. We roll that and cut it off. So we are going to be sewing. We have finished cutting. We are using 3 yards for the skirt part of it, the gather side of it. She needs a scarf, so this is 1 yard for the scarf. So you can use your machine to run gather stitch. Just put your machine down for the thread to be very loose, and then you run a straight stitch across from the beginning to the end. You run it twice. Okay, I'll show you that after running it, and then show you how to pull it for gathers. So this is the sleeve part. We are going to fold the down to create channel for the elastic. Okay, we are going to be putting a ½ inch elastic. So we'll fold it about 0.25, and then we'll now fold 0.75, making a total of 1 inch. Okay, So fold it 0.25 like this first, and then 0.75 to create the channel for the elastic. Okay, when we are done with that, to show you what it looks like before we work on this upper part. So that is for the sleeve, and then we have, this is the pattern for the back. We've already cut out the lining, so we've cut interfacing, we'll iron interfacing for the neckline, iron interfacing for the neckline of the African print. When we are done with that, we are going to be joining the sides. We are going to join this together. Join this together as one. Join this together as one. We are going to repeat same for the line. Join it together as one. Join it together as one. Okay, this is the front piece. I've already cut out the lining for it as well. For the African print, we are also going to iron interfacing. Iron interfacing on the neckline, and then we are going to join the front bodies together. I'm going to join this together like so. So when we are through with that, we are going to do same for the lining. We need to join the lining together. So I'll come back to show you what it looks like before we proceed to the next step. This is what the sleeve the elastic casing look like after stitching. So I'm going to use safety pin to pass it when it is time. And then for this part, just get the midpoint. Notch the middle. So there are different ways you can do this. You can use gather stitch. You can use gather stitch to gather it until you have the desired armhole length, or you pleat it. Okay, you can decide to pleat it. Okay, anyhow you choose to, it's fine. You can decide to gather it or you pleat it. I think I'm going to gather it. If I want to sew the gather stitch, I will not sew it up to this side. I'll sew only the cap area from here to here. Okay, so that it can be full, because the customer wants it full. So that's what I'm going to do for the both sleeve. I'll use gather stitch. Then this is the back pattern after sewing. This is the back piece. So I've iron interfacing on the neckline. So the next thing is to iron it. We'll open the same line and iron it. Do same for the other one. This is the lining. We iron the lining as well, and then we are going to use the lining to turn the neckline. We place them right side facing each other. We place them like this. Okay, and then we are going to use 1/2 inch to sew here. after which we will notch it so that it can relax. After notching, we'll turn it. Use pin to hold it in place. So after sewing, we'll notch it. Guys, we'll cut, but you won't cut through the seam. You just cut it a little. Cut it close to the seam, rounding this curvy part. Then after that, you open it like this, and then you stitch on the lining. So when you're done with that, you sew the zipper line with the same allowance that you have left. You sew the zipper line. Okay, we'll repeat same for the other one. Okay, I'll show you what it looks like and then tell you what next to do. So here is the front piece. We have also ironed interfacing on the neckline. So when you're ironing this front piece, don't iron around the bust area so that you don't tamper with. But you can use your breast ham if you have your breast ham. Just place it under before you iron it so that you don't spoil the cup. Okay, you have a little cup there. So this is the lining. It's more visible on the lining. So when we are through, we place the lining on it, right side facing each other, and then we are going to sew. So once sew rounds, then open it like this and top stitch on the lining. Before you do that, just notch on it once so that the curvy part will be able to relax. Then we'll understitch to the side. So I'll show you what it looks like before we go to the next step. Close all the sides. Close all the sides with the same allowance that we have left. So we are going to close up this side. So when we sew the back part, when we close the zipper line, we also close up this side. And then this is the down part, the gathers part. So I've used the thread, I'll use machine to sew on it, 2 lines. I hope you can see the line. I use white thread so it can be visible. You can still go to take it off. So I'm going to gather it using the waist measurement. So to do that, I'll pick my seam ripper. You see this thread, they are together. See that they are together, this one and this one. So we'll separate it. Use the seam ripper to separate it like this, so that they'll be on this one will be on this, on the back will be on this one. We'll do same for this side. Okay, after which you hold it like this, and then you begin to create your gathers. So just do this carefully. So don't pull on it too hard, so you don't break the thread. So this is what we are going to do until we have our desired waistline. So I'll show you what it looks like when we are through. So this is what we have so far. We're wearing gathers on the cap area of the sleeve. So to complete this sleeve, we already have the channel for the elastic. So to complete it, we'll get our elastic, put in our safety pin, and then we're going to pass it through the channel that we have created. We pass it through here like this. So this one is somewhere like this. Use a pin to hold it down so it doesn't go inside. So we have this. See, the puff sleeve is already coming out. So once you bring it out like this, so you stitch here down to secure it. You also stitch here down to secure it. After that, we are going to close the side with the same allowance that we have left. So just close this side. For neat finishing, I'm going to fold here twice with 0.25. I'll fold it twice with 0.25. Then I'll stitch here. When I'm done with that, I'll stitch here with half or a quarter, 3/4 inch. Okay, so close it down like this. And that will complete our sleeve. Okay, the sleeve length is 9.5. So when I'm through, I'm going to have about 11, and then I will increase the gathers. Okay, I'll increase the gathers a little to this side so that we'll get the complete measurement, and that will complete our sleeve. So I'll repeat same for the other sleeve. This is the elastic. So this is the front pattern. We have used the lining to turn the neckline, and then we understitch it. then we join it at the side for neat finishing. We have done same for the back piece. I've also folded down the zipper allowance, 1 inch zipper allowance. So what I'm going to do next now is to join the shoulders. I'm going to be joining the shoulder. So place it like this, right side facing each other. Also place this like this and join the shoulder. So to join the shoulder, once I put it together like this, you now take this like this, you make this lining to come to this side. Okay, so put it like this and then you turn this to this side. Okay, making sure that all the parts are together. One, two, three, four. The 4 parts are together. You see it? So I'm going to stitch here. So I'll repeat same for this side. I'll repeat same for this side. And after joining the shoulders, this is what it will look like. It will look like this. Then I'll now join this side with the same allowance that I've left. And join this side. So I show that to show you, to bring it back to show you, to see what it looks like. And then this is the gathers for the down part. This is the gathers. Okay, so I've gathered it to the waist measurement. Then I've left here. You straighten here a bit. This is the zipper region. Okay, and also to make a neat finishing, I'm going to fold here twice with 0.25 because I do not have a weaving machine, so I'll just fold here twice before I leave my zipper allowance. Okay, so we'll do that, then show you what it looks like before we join the upper bodies to these lower bodies, after which we fix our sleeves. So we are almost done with our gathers maxi dress. So we are through with the front body. This is what it looks like, and this is the back. Isn't it beautiful? And then this is the sleeve. So I've sewn in the side, I've joined the side. Of course, I put the elastic first before joining the side, so the sleeve is complete. Exaggerated puff sleeve. So this is what it looks like when you bring it out. Okay. It's looking beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fold it like this and reshape the armhole. Reshape the armhole. Just check it if it needs reshaping. After that, you're going to fix the sleeve. Fix the sleeve. Okay. So we are done with fixing the sleeve. We are going to attach the down part. Okay, this is the gathers. This is very long, so we already gather it to the waist measurement. So I'll fix the sleeve, show you what it looks like before we join the waist, before we join the gathers to the waist. We're almost there. After joining gathers to the waist, we are going to fix the zip and then fold it down, and our dress is set. So this is what it looks like after joining the sleeve. This is the sleeve. So we are going to remove this thread we use for the gathers. We'll remove it. This is the second sleeve. See our puff. So I'm going to be joining the waistline now. I'm joining with this, and then I'll join the zipper line at the back. Attach the waist, leave the zip allowance, and join this back. After that, we're going to fix our zip. We'll fix our zip and then we fold it down. So I'll show you the final look of the dress. So here is the final look of the dress. Maxi gathers dress with exaggerated puff sleeve. Can you see the puff sleeve? So I hope you find this video helpful. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, comment, share, and please subscribe to my channel. It's Joydala Fashion Guide.